What's up, Do Life in a Body You Love chicks? Today we're going to talk about the scale. So the scale is a tool that you use to collect data. It should not be the little bathroom tyrant that tortures you all throughout your weight loss journey, okay? And so I want to tackle a couple of different things on today's episode. So I want to do a little bit of reframing for you about what the scale is actually telling us and what is the most appropriate way to use the scale on a weight loss or a health journey. Because for some, staying off of it is the most appropriate response. But for others who don't have such like a maybe terrible relationship with the scale, you can get on it, you can use it, it can give you really great data, but it's not the whole picture of what's going on. And so we typically use the scale inappropriately on our weight loss journey. It kind of becomes like the beacon of light, like we're guiding our whole process on what the scale says. And that's a huge mistake. So I call this like the weight loss at any cost approach, right? And we inevitably fall into that category when the scale is the only thing that we're paying attention to. And that can be very, very misguided and can make you do some things that aren't actually in the best interest of your health or your long-term weight loss. So we sacrifice our long-term ability to maintain our weight for the momentary wins on the scale. So we got to get rid of that. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about what does the scale even tell us? Because again, it is simply a tool to collect a piece of data. And so for any of you who work in medicine, for example, or you play with different sets of data, you know, you look at more than one thing to give you the whole picture of what's going on with a situation, right? So I'll use medicine as an example because that's easy for my nurse brain. And I know some of you are nurses, whatever. We're going to use that as an example. So you have somebody who presents with a fever. Do you only look at one thing to figure out why they have a fever? Or do you like run a lot of tests, look at all of their vitals? Like, okay, that was a stupid analogy, but like you get the point. You're not going to look at just like one thing and make assumptions, but we have this very narrow view of if we're succeeding with our weight loss, and it is simply the scale. That's it. That's the only thing that we're looking at, right? Okay, so let's look at what the scale is actually measuring, okay? It's not measuring your fat. That's one thing it's measuring. It's also weighing your bone density, your muscle mass, your hydration. How much fluid do you have in your body? That can be hydration or it can be inflammatory fluid, right? So some water loss is good if it's you becoming less inflamed. If it's you dropping your carbs and then peeing a lot, well, that didn't really change anything about your body composition, like nothing about it at all. Okay. So we have to be very, very careful with what we make things mean. So rapid weight loss, I promise you, is never only fat. It's impossible. If you see people who are losing more than a couple of pounds a week, and let's be clear, I know they say you should, you can safely lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's a pretty big range. And I disagree wholeheartedly with that. Because here's the deal. I am 5 foot tall. Why would it be appropriate for me to lose the same amount of weight as my husband who's 6'1"? Like 5 pounds for me is an entire pant size, and 5 pounds for my husband is nothing. It's like a poop. Like, sorry to be crass, but come on, you get what I'm saying here. So it's more about the percentage of your own body weight that you can quote unquote safely lose. Now, all of that to say, what's happening if we're losing weight rapidly? Well, when you first change your eating, it's kind of okay if it's going faster because you're defluffing a lot. Like you start a low carb diet, you're going to pee 10 pounds. You're going to pee 10 pounds. Why do I know that? Well, your body stores sugar in your body with molecules of water. So as you deplete the glucose that's stored in your muscles and in your liver, all those water molecules that were stored with it, they leave. You pee them. Ever notice when you start like a ketogenic diet, you just live in the bathroom and you pee, 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 pee? You're not losing fat, you're losing water. But let's say you're not dropping your carbs and you're still losing weight kind of fast. Might still be fine because if you're eating the standard American diet, which is full of processed foods that are inflaming your body. Now you're losing a little bit of inflammatory weight, right? Plus you might be eating things that are like super, super high in sodium, let's say, and then you switch to like more of a quote unquote cleaner diet and you're not getting as much sodium. So now you are losing a little bit of water via that as well. So there's multiple reasons why you could lose water weight in the beginning of a diet, and it might be bad, it might be good. Okay. It's not what the point is. The point is that that's not all fat. So it's moving a little faster. Fine. Then it slows down. People get annoyed. Well, I was losing weight so fast in the beginning. Yep. Everybody loses weight so fast in the beginning, but it's not fat. Okay. Now that has to taper off to a reasonable amount. If it's still going rapidly, you're not just losing fat. It's not possible to lose excessive amounts of fat without also dipping into your muscle. We do not want to do this, ladies. We do not want to do this. If you're in my simplified fat loss group, you're probably sick of hearing me say this. If you're one of my clients in the Keep It Off Academy, I know you're sick of hearing me say this, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep saying it. You know why? Because logically, you guys all understand this, but your brains will not be okay with it when you get on the scale. It doesn't matter what you know to logically be true. You hop on the scale and your brain melts and you're like, I gotta lose weight faster. You know what I mean? So here's the deal. If you're losing it so fast that you're also losing muscle, the number on the scale is going to go down faster. This is why shitty programs, I'm gonna call them out, and coaches, I don't normally like to put people on blast, but I'm gonna for this because this is detrimental and they know it. The reason that people, programs, coaches, whatever, who are very fixated on getting rapid weight loss results, tell people not to work out in the beginning of their plans is because they know that the scale will go faster. Why does the scale go faster? The scale goes faster because you're also losing muscle. So if I tell you to do strength training, which is going to protect the muscle and or grow the muscle, right? And I mess with your nutrition, so you're losing fat, but you're gaining muscle, which ultimately is going to make you look way better than if the number on the scale goes down. It's also going to keep you out of the nursing home when you get older. It's going to help your body better regulate blood sugar. It's going to make your metabolism faster. It's doing so many amazing things, but you might lose a half of a pound a week. Shoot, in the beginning, your weight might actually go up for a few weeks. That's not going to make you very happy, right? But what's happening is you're losing fat and you're building muscle, and eventually the scale catches up. Okay. Now, I don't want you to put muscle on your body or to keep your muscle if I want you to see rapid results on the scale so that you're telling all your friends, oh my gosh, do this program. I lost weight so fast. It has the appearance of working. It's a trick and it's costing you muscle. And now here's the one exception to that rule. Do I have people who I tell not to work out when we first start working together? Yes. Not because I want their scale to move fast, but because they can only handle changing one thing at a time from a habit perspective. So it's like the food is a really big undertaking and the food is really, really not in a great way. And so we need to make changes there first. So it's being done in a sense of habit stacking, but not as I would never tell somebody who wants to go strength train not to do it. Never. That's crazy to me. I want my women picking up heavy things as quickly as they're ready to do so mentally and can do so physically, right? You're super sedentary, then you start with walking, that kind of thing. But there's just no darn good reason to tell people not to pick up heavy things because you want their scale to move faster. Okay. So be aware that is a gimmick. Don't fall for it. Now, I just shared that as one small example of how you can manipulate the number on the scale, right? It looks good. The number's moving faster. Yay. I'm winning the game of weight loss. No, you're not. You're losing the game of weight maintenance. You may be winning the game of temporary weight loss, but you're losing the game of maintenance. You're losing the game of health. You're losing the game of longevity. Okay. So that is an inappropriate way to use the scale. So if we know that the scale is measuring all of these things and not just our fat, and we're trying to just lose fat, okay, we want to keep our precious muscle. Ladies, you do, because after the age of 30, some people even say your early 20s, but after the age of 30, if you're not actively preventing muscle loss, it's happening. It's happening all on its own. Okay. So if you're not picking up heavy things and eating enough animal-based protein, you're losing muscle. All of us are. And then if you diet, so you're not getting enough protein and nutrients, you're losing it faster. If you're doing no strength training, you're losing it faster. And then as we approach menopause, the shift in our hormones causes us to lose it faster, equaling slower metabolism, all those things that I already mentioned. Okay. So we want to be guarding it. So the scale is not telling us anything about our fat. It's telling us that our total body weight has went down for some reason, but we hop on the scale and we see, oh my gosh, I did everything right yesterday. I went to the gym. I ate perfect, and I get on the scale and it's up 3 pounds. What the hell is going on with my body? I'm doing something wrong. The reality is that a fluctuation from day to day on the scale, it doesn't tell you anything of value. Nothing of value. The scale is a tool that we use to trend over time. You cannot get caught up in the day to day because it fluctuates based on how much food is in your colon. Like, have you pooped yet today? I'm not even kidding you guys. I pooped a whole pound one time. I will share that with you because I'm a disgusting person. Weighed myself before and after. How do you like that? Boom. What's your hydration status? How much sodium did you have the day before? How much carbs did you have the day before? And mind you, if you had some, and so now you have more water on your body, that doesn't mean anything about your fat. It means nothing about your fat. The scale went up means nothing about your fat. You could, in fact, have inflamed muscles because you just went to the gym and you haven't done that in 3 years. So now your muscles are inflamed. It's actually good. It's a hormetic effect. You have stressed out the muscle, made it angry, you tore it down in the gym, and now there's an inflammatory process that's happening that's building the muscle back up stronger. Well, while that's happening, there's going to be some swelling, inflammation-y type of things happening in your body. That's going to reflect on the scale. But what our brain does is goes, I did everything right, and the opposite of what I wanted to happen happened. I wanted to lose weight, and the scale went up. But really what we have to shift the focus here. We didn't want the scale to go down. We wanted to lose fat. And the fact that the scale went up doesn't mean that we didn't lose any fat. It literally doesn't mean that. So you can't get caught up in the day-to-day. Can you weigh yourself every day? Yes, you can, if you fully understand what the scale is and is not telling you. If you're going to hop on the scale and every time it goes up, or it doesn't go down when you think that it should have according to your behavior, then you probably ought to stay off of it because you'll make inappropriate decisions based on inadequate data. So the scale is not the only data point. How about photos? How about tight pants test? Throw on some tight pants, see how they fit. You got a lot of like upper body chub that you're trying to get rid of. Like I always get it like right here in my armpits. I hate that. So I could put on a tight tank top that digs into that. And then I could put that on like once a week and see if it's changing, right? So like, where are your areas that you need to look at? Measurements. If you want to be real fancy, you can do like DEXA scans and see what your percentage of body fat is. Like that's a little excessive. I don't recommend that for most people. But nonetheless, there's lots and lots of things that you can do to see if your body is changing. Now, would you expect the tape measure to change in one day? No. Would you expect it to change in 1 week? Probably not. But then we expect the scale to go down every single day based on the fact that like I ate a salad, the scale should go down. Like, wait, what? This is a process. Like this is a long process. Losing weight in a way where it's going to stay off of your body, long process, very long. You got 20 pounds to lose? Cool. We can reasonably take it off in like maybe 3 months. If your body's cooperating and your metabolism is fine and you have a decent amount of muscle mass on your body already and, easy peasy, we can do 20 pounds in a few months. Then we also have to learn maintenance. There's like a lot of mindset things that have to happen before you're ready to just keep the weight off, right? But like this whole, I want to lose 20 pounds in a month because I'm going on vacation. Nope, nope, nope. You got more than 20 pounds to lose? Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a longer process. And we have to be okay with that. And I think when we talk about it, most women logically are okay with it. They're like, yeah, I didn't get here. I didn't get my body into the shape that it's in 6 months. I've been doing this to my body for years. So it's very reasonable that it could take me quite a bit of time to get where I want to be. But then what happens is there's so much diet marketing that we see, infomercials, commercials, our friends who are doing crazy diets and like Facebook pictures. And we see these transformations that have the appearance of success and that happened really fast. And then we get in our head and we're like, that's not how it's happening for me. My scale's not going down, because we're just looking at the numbers every single day and it starts to drive us crazy. So have multiple things that you're tracking, not just the scale. Be tracking. How is your digestion? How is your energy? Like, is your body giving you clues that it likes this new lifestyle that you're implementing? Or is your body giving you clues that it doesn't like it, even though the scale's going down? I can't tell you how many women come to me. This happens all the time. And they're like, well, I did X, Y, and Z program or diet and it worked. I lost a lot of weight. But strangely, and I felt pretty good, but strangely, a lot of my hair fell out. Okay, your body didn't like that. I can't tell you why. I can't tell you if it's because you didn't have enough protein, if it was because it was a stressor to your body, if you were malnourished while it was happening. Like there's so many reasons why it could have happened. Okay. But suffice it to say, your body didn't like it. It wasn't actually working for you. We have to change our definition of what working means, you guys. We don't want the scale moving at any cost, weight loss at any cost. That's how we've always done it. And that's why we all end up sicker, bigger, less confident, less energy, aging poorly, because we're only focused on the scale. And so I'm not saying that you should throw the scale away. That's a personal thing, and it varies from person to person, but it can't be the only tool that we're using. And it certainly shouldn't be the thing that's dictating if we make changes or not. Now, if you are already fairly lean and you're doing fitness competitions and you have a goal, you have to get down to a certain percentage of body fat by this date that you get on stage, that's a whole nother thing. Okay. Then they are making changes based on what's happening on the scale and intentional manipulations and all this and that and the other. That's a different thing. I'm talking to women who are like, I just want to like look good in my clothes and feel confident and not always worry about sucking it in. And I want like my aches and pains to go away. And I don't want to have to live on a diet forever. So that's the woman that I'm speaking to when I'm saying the scale can't be the only thing that's dictating if you modify your plan. If you only look at the scale to make plan modifications, and if you pull the trigger too quickly on making those modifications, you are always going to feel frustrated. You are always going to feel overwhelmed because the scale fluctuates greatly. It's going to go up and down. You want it over time to be trending down, but expect that along the way, there's going to be weeks, if your journey is long, maybe months, where it's bobbling up, down, up, down, up, down. But in general, is the line itself trending down? Expect high days, maybe even a whole week, and it's okay. We just don't go changing the plan because of what that scale says. What else is happening with your body? Are you gaining muscle and losing fat? Do you have some hormonal things that are going on? Did you just travel? A lot of people gain weight just from getting on an airplane, even if they don't eat and drink on the plane. And so we just have to be crystal clear on what that little bathroom tyrant is actually saying to us. Do we have enough data to change our plan? If we do, what's a reasonable change? Don't hop on it and be like, scale went up, I guess I have to eat less food today. No, that's not usually what our body wants. Sometimes you do need less food. More often, from what I've seen in working with women, is they need more food and they need different food. It's not usually less. But anyways, you can't make knee-jerk reactions based on what the scale is telling you. Does that make sense? So instead of letting that thing be the driving force of how you're going to change behavior, knock it off its pedestal. Okay. Knock that scale right off its pedestal. It is not the dictator of your plan. It is definitely not the dictator of your life. And don't only look at that to make changes. So for instance, if your scale hasn't been stuck for 3 weeks and you're one of my clients, I don't call it a plateau. Sometimes even at 3 weeks, I don't. If you're losing inches and that scale hasn't moved, I'm probably not changing your plan. Much to your frustration. But like, you're not losing inches, there's no positive changes occurring and the scale hasn't moved. It's got to be 3 weeks, because sometimes your body needs adjustments. You know what I mean? So it's a process. Embrace the process of repairing your body, fueling your body, loving your body, and make smart changes along the way to ultimately get the scale to go down, but in a way where once you hit the goal number, you can keep it really, really easy because you've nourished your body all the way there. You didn't make impulsive decisions. You didn't make knee-jerk reactions based on a little bit of inflammation that happened on the scale, and then you started starving yourself. And these are all very, very common things that we do when we're hopping on that bad boy all the time. So in closing, let me know how this one sits with you. Reach out, let me know. How do you do with the scale? Is it just a data point for you? Or is it your little bathroom tyrant? If it's your little bathroom tyrant, I want to encourage you to knock that thing off its pedestal. Keep me posted, ladies, and you've got this, okay? All of you have got this. You can all get back into a healthy body, love your body, have more confidence without sacrificing your health to get there. And I will see you next week.